Kaboot it.
Dude.
You're laughing at me.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
And we're bringing back the retro. Antonio criticized me, said I was a piece of dick because I didn't have the old intro. My new intro sucks ass. So I brought back the old one. Ant-Man, we are doing pro wrestlers in movies. Little precedent before we go into the intro. One wrestler per roster, one performance, like in a specific movie, per everyone. So keep that in mind. We all know that behind the scenes, but just so you watching. With that said, Ant-Man, you got the option to pick your position. You went first overall. Is that something you think you'll regret, or is it something you only care about one of these and you want to make sure it's on your roster and that's all?
Yeah, pretty much. I want to make sure I at least got one of these big guys because, like, I honestly, I'll admit, I'm not an authority on wrestlers. I mean, I enjoy some people, but like, especially in movies, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I defer to these fine gentlemen for that, but I'm still got to be part of this, and I'm interested to see how this goes.
There you go. We're jumping over to me. I went second overall because, once again, similar to what you just said, as long as I get one of my probably three that I genuinely want, then I'll at least be confident in my roster. And then, as long as JPO comes in not first, I'm happy. JPO, what are your thoughts?
This is literally my two favorite things in my entire life. So if I get fifth in this one, I'm going to be really sad.
He retires.
Luckily, there's no wrestlers in Happiest Season.
There you facts. Tato, is this the first draft? You haven't had the first overall pick, and do you know what to do with your hands?
I don't know. This is not my first without the first, but I have had the first a couple times, twice, thrice maybe. And I feel pretty good about it because I'm not a huge wrestling head myself, so I'm content in the old 4 slot here.
Actually, exactly. This is literally the definition of an after dark concept. Barber, you went Christmas movies beforehand. Now we're going wrestling. Are we wrestling during Christmas, or is this something we could do 365?
I feel like you could wrestle 365, but it's the most fun during Christmas time.
Yeah, put a little Christmas lights around the neck, and just
Anyone else coming from a wrestling shirt earlier today? No, just me. Okay,
just you. You're the only one who comes during wrestling shows. With that said, Ant-Man, you had the first overall pick. Wrestlers and movies. Performances is what the draft is, just for you guys know. It's not just the movies. It's not just the wrestler. It's the specific performances.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless of how long they're in the movie, just once again, precedent, the
Right.
performance for regardless of time spot. First overall, what are you going with?
Well, I feel like when we talk about performances, when it comes to wrestlers, we use that term very loosely. But with this particular performance, I actually think it is a very good performance, and I'm going with Andre the Giant as Fezzik in Princess Bride. I think he's like he steals the show, and he's one of the reasons why I love that movie very much. And yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like there could be no other number one, maybe one other one, but otherwise, this is the one I really wanted to make sure was on my list. So yeah.
I'm next up, and I just got to go with my gut. It's between two. Tato knows the two I'm probably thinking of, and I'm going to go with. I got you for 3 minutes. I'm going Macho Man, Randy Savage in Spider-Man. Bonesaw ready. OG Spider-Man, Macho Man, Randy Savage. Because regardless of what you think of this film as a comic movie, as a superhero movie, as a 2000s movie, whatever, Randy Macho Man Savage is one of the things that you first think of when you think of this movie. So when we're thinking of this concept, that is a shout out. In terms of like Oscar nominated, maybe not, but when it comes of like who we talking about from a wrestler performance, this is my jam. So I got to go with my heart. I got to go with my gut. I got to go with my boy, the Human Spider. Bonesaw is ready. Macho Man is my pick for number 2 overall. JPO, 5th overall in terms of quality. What's your pick?
The 5th?
That was just a saying you suck.
Oh, I get it now. Okay.
Most people.
Well, unlike your guys' performance, I'm actually gonna go where it's a real acting performance outside of his wheelhouse. I'm going with John Cena from Trainwreck. This is what I think solidified him as a capable movie star. He kind of stole the show in a movie with Bill Hader and a movie with Amy Schumer, and he was the one a lot of people were talking about. He kind of like a Channing Tatum showed his softer side, his funny side, and he started getting consistent roles since then, and is right now literally still climbing the ladder. Just had a hit successful TV show, I think, thanks to Trainwreck.
Bold strategy, Cotton. I don't think it'll pay off. Tato, you're next up.
And
You are muted. The internet is probably happy about that, but unfortunately, this panel is not.
Oh man, that is unfortunate indeed. Interesting pick so far. We're gonna go with Dave Bautista as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
All right. There you go. So we are going to round off round 1 with Jacob Barber.
Yeah, and I'm very surprised that this made it all the way to me, but I am very happy it did. I'm going with Roddy Piper in They Live.
It was, yeah. There you go. All right, so now I'm going to let you recap round 1. What are your thoughts on Dave Bautista, Guardians 2, John Cena, Trainwreck, Macho Man, Randy Savage, Spider-Man, and Andre the Giant, Princess Bride?
I think Andre the Giant is a great number 1 pick. It's the one I was thinking of, but I was would have been very surprised if that had fallen to me at 5. Randy Savage, very memorable performance. Not surprised it went in the first round. John Cena, very fun. Like I think that's his best. Like if you're just going, he's not in the movie that much, but he's extremely funny. And yeah, I mean, if you're going to go with the Bautista performance, you go with Drax. I'm not sure if Volume 2 is the one I would have gone with, but it's really good still. So
there you go. Tato, Trainwreck, John Cena, Macho Man, and Andre the Giant went before you. Or any of those that you would have picked? And what are your thoughts on Roddy Piper that went after you?
All on my board. A lot of erasing off my board on this first round. Andre, I'd have taken. Cena might have been on the backswing. Bonesaw I had on my board, but I thought would honestly wait until a lot later because it's because it's as short as it is, not because it's not awesome. So yeah, all fantastic picks, I gotta say.
There you go. JPO, as the connoisseur of the wrestling, mantra within all of us, what are your thoughts on how this round 1 went as a whole?
No, I think a lot of really smart picks here, man. I mean, obviously, when you simply say wrestlers and movies, the first things that are going to come to your mind are Princess Bride, are Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Batista's also right up there with, not too far off from Rock and Cena as far as he's grown to something now. So, no, all of these are pretty smart picks.
There you go. For me, if I didn't go Macho Man, Andre Giant is on paper probably the best option. It wouldn't have been my favorite, but it was honestly on the list because of the poll. Because we're always looking to win the poll. Bautista, John Cena, interesting picks for interesting reasons. Ant-Man, what are your thoughts on how round 1 went after you went with the slam dunk of Andre the Giant?
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked Bautista for Volume 2, and I wouldn't have picked Cena for Trainwreck. So I agree with the wrestlers, but just not different performances. Yeah, Macho Man. He's on my board, but just not that high. Yeah, And then Roddy Piper. I was like, yeah, he had to go in the first round. So it hurts to lose him, but I expected him to be gone. So
enough.
yeah.
There you go. And with that said, speaking of Roddy Piper, Jacob Barber, you are swinging back. Round 2. How are we starting?
Yeah, and I will also go with a Batista, and I will take Volume 1.
Fun fact, probably the better pick.
Right. Now I can cross that off my board.
No, only cross that off my board because Volume 2 is not on my board. But what are your thoughts on that one as we're all typing down that pick?
I think he's one of the better parts of that movie. I wasn't sure about him as an actor, but I think he kills it. I wasn't sure about the movie as a whole. Like, these aren't characters that I was familiar with at all. I'm not a big like comic book fan to begin with. I like the movies, but not like the comic books themselves. And so it was a pleasant surprise. And yeah, I like the introduction of the character.
There you go. And Tato, clearly Volume 1 went over your head, but Volume 2, you did catch it. What are your thoughts? Do you regret not going Volume 1? And what is your next pick?
No, it's a pretty 50-50 toss-up, I think. I know Guardians
Volume
2.
2, not in Volume 1.
What?
Nipples chafed in Volume 2, but not in Volume 1.
Exactly. I know Guardians 2 is a lot softer in my heart than it is for other people, but I do genuinely think that that Batista himself improves his acting and gets more character beats in Guardians 2. So that's why I went Volume 2. And
I respect that. All right, and what are you going with your second overall pick?
Here I am gonna go. I got a couple. Give me Cena as Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, in the Suicide Squad.
Damn it.
See, we knocked off the right Batista and the right Cena in round 2.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts on why you
DC
picked that?
Marvel right away. You're right, guys.
What are your thoughts on why you picked that? Tato?
Recent watch for me, I picked Sandy and I picked DCEU as a strength, and I had some catching up to do on that one. And I really enjoyed his performance. Honestly, like I said, I'm fine with either Trainwreck or the Suicide Squad for Cena. So I'm content with the Cena that I got.
That's fair. JPO, what are you going with? Your next pick?
Try to see if anyone was in the last holiday. 1 second. No wrestlers in the last holiday. All right. I'm gonna go with another starting off screen legend here. Let's go with The Rock in The Rundown. I think this is the first time. Thank you. You see his true. To me, this is his best introduction. We've seen him a little bit in Scorpion King, but he's better in this. He gets to show off action. He literally throws a rock bottom to kind of say hello. It's funny too, you know what I mean? It's a good story, it's a good movie, and it's a good real introduction of what he can kind of bring to the screen.
I'm fucking pissed. You're a piece of shit.
Thank you.
I am gonna go Jesse Ventura and Predator.
Fuck.
Nice
Damn
pick.
it.
This is one of the ones where when you think of guys being dudes, you think of Predator, and when you think of characters from Predator, you think of Jesse Ventura. There's insert quote here that I'm not allowed to say on the internet, but yes, like it is what it is. And
Never stopped you before.
I'll click end live right now and say them. This movie's fantastic and this character stands out. One of my biggest things about like when I talk about other movies that want to be Predator is the characters don't stand out like these characters. Like Jesse Ventura is a character that not only is a badass of like a insert macho man here, no pun intended, but like insert like badass brooding character here, but like he actually has personality and traits that make him memorable as a character, let alone as a presence, as a man, military soldier, all that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm confident. Obviously, I was pissed about The Rock and Rundown because I thought I could have got that round 3 if that would have skipped. But with that said, shout out to that. But yeah, Jesse Ventura, I'm really proud of that. Predators is a banger. It's not a B movie. It's a fantastic movie, and Jesse Ventura is one of the standouts of that. So I'm happy with that. Ant-Man, how are you ending round 2? You went with the biggest fucker. Are you going to keep going that way, or?
Yeah, actually. I mean, I was a little bit pissed about Predator, but I respect it, obviously. But I'm glad that I have the opportunity to pick the ultimate male, Thunderlips, Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3.
God damn it. You guys are a bunch of cunts, dude.
Fuck. Dude.
I mean, listen, it's Rocky, and it's the reason why Rocky 3 is one of my favorite Rockies. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite Rockies, and can't go wrong with Hulk, man. So, yeah. Tom, closing it out.
All right. What are your thoughts? So obviously you had the last pick in round 2. Would you have gone? Obviously, you kind of hinted at Jesse Ventura. Would you have gone Rock and Rundown, specifically Cena and Suicide Squad and Batista in Volume 1?
Yeah, Batista and Volume 1 is what I had. I almost debated Endgame, but again, the OG Guardians of the Galaxy is where, like, yeah, that's where he kind of like broke out. And then, yeah, Cena, Suicide Squad, I mean, it led to him getting Peacemaker as a show. So that's why I was like, I was a little bit peeved about that. But again, respect it. And then, yeah, but otherwise, I mean, the second round kind of went how I thought it was going to go. So, yeah, we're actually, so far, it's anyone's game, honestly. So far, everyone's made really awesome picks so far. So,
absolutely. I said my piece a little bit. So, JPO, do you think Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3 would have fallen back to you, or Ventura and Predator? And overall, what are your thoughts so far?
Those two, no, I'm not surprised they went by any means. I just they're kind of both very much in their wheelhouses, and they're also kind of small. In terms of like how much screen time they actually really have and contribute. So the ones that obviously the Cena one's really a great obvious pick for Cena, and Batista and any the Guardian so far. And I actually totally get why Tato picked 2, because I think he does get more comedic kind of standalone moments in 2. But both movies are really good picks for Batista.
There you go. Tato, what are your thoughts on how this has gone so far?
Yeah, great picks. Like multiple times where I'm just pissed that these guys didn't wheel to me, and I thought they would. Thunderlips, I thought would wheel to me in a similar manner that I thought Bonesaw would. I had my Governor also on my board. I really I didn't think so much meant that he would wheel to me, but goddamn anyway. So a lot of erasing, and I've got lots of catching up to do to make sure I even have the numbers I need here. Great picks.
There you go.
I'll send you a list if you need more, Tato.
Jacob Barber, what are your thoughts on how this has gone so far?
Yeah, this has been going really good. I think this is a lot closer than the Christmas draft, at least so far. We'll see what people pick in 4 and 5, because that seems to be the downfall for some people. But so far, like this, yeah, I think that wasn't a shot at anyone in particular. No, great draft so far.
There you go. All right, we are starting off with Ant-Man, round 3. What you got?
Might be a little bit out of left field, but maybe not. I actually, because I really enjoyed watching this, and I feel like it got to show off his what do you call it? Emotional range a little bit, in my opinion. I'm gonna go with The Rock and Black Adam.
I was doing that for round 5 because I wasn't expecting that. But all right, let's hear it.
I know he's had other, let's say, stand-up performances before he became like this big megastar, but now that he's actually is a big megastar, and the fact that I feel like he's got a lot of power, literally, but also like no pun intended, but like in the sense that he's now, I guess, shifting the change of the DCU, and I went into it expecting him to be obviously a badass mofo, but I also was like, there's some emotional stuff that I was like, wow, I could see his range a little bit. So yeah, I got to give it to The Rock for Black Adam.
All right, we're going over to me, and as I'm scrambling, trying to decide, because there are some picks where it's like I'm confident now, similar to like my Macho Man one, where it's like maybe I can get it later. I am going to go. Fuck it, I'm just going with the memorable. I'm going Big Show and Waterboy.
Captain Nathano,
Yeah,
who recently returned, by the way.
It's
I almost went that instead of Brock.
like
Captain Insano was on TV a couple weeks ago.
that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
really?
So at the end of the day, if you're not going, like, just being realistic, if you're not going Rock, Cena, and Batista in 2020, 2022, in terms of like performances, let's talk about their memorable like spots. And that's what I'm going with. Macho Man stands out. Just you know what I mean? I'm just confident in, like, if you're not going for the wannabe actors, let's just go for the most memorable within the
Not
thing
going
that-
for lengths and minutes that they're on screen at all.
if you're not looking for this, I would 10 times out of 10, I would rather have Big Show in Waterboy than fucking anything that you say ever, JPO. With that said,
Nice short film you've got so far. You got Jesse Ventura and 4 minutes
Exactly.
of Predator.
we're bringing it. So sometimes you just gotta scramble, my
This is
guy.
a real.
With that said, JPO, how are you gonna fuck this up?
I'm ready to fuck this up by choosing Batista in the Guardians Holiday Special. No, I'm gonna choose him. I'm gonna go Knives Out too. I'm gonna Glass Onion. Yeah,
I'll
I
accept
think he's great, and he's another one, man. I think some of his character. I almost chose. Well, I'm not gonna say in case someone else chose it, but there's a couple interesting Batista picks that actually I think still could be chosen.
Facts. Shh. All right, Tato. As someone who has gone Batista and Cena with your generic ass fucking, oh, we know those names. What else are you gonna do?
Why are we talking about your nipples?
You're the one who picked volume 2. You
We're
cunt.
not. I'm gonna
Mantis.
take Kevin
go.
Nash in The Longest Yard.
God damn it!
Talk about nipples.
If
Hey, one
you
of my
wanna
favorite-
cry,
hold
I'll
on,
cry
real quick,
with
one of
you.
my favorite face acting in the entire time, Kevin Nash. It's one of my favorites. All right, why did you pick this? And do you think that this is way too soon?
I don't know what's too soon in this draft anymore. And so no, I don't think it's too soon. I thought, like, you go to The Longest Yard, there's a bunch of wrestlers in it, spoiler alert. And I think Kevin Nash gives the finest performance of all of them.
Come back, Henry.
And with that, we will go to Jacob.
Jacob, what do you got? How are you going to end round 3?
I'm going to end round 3 with a pick from arguably one of the best movies ever made. And that movie being The Godfather, and that wrestler being Lenny Montana.
That means he Googled the wrestlers in
I was
movies.
going to say, I found that out
I
via.
remember his name, but he plays Luke Brasi. And
Yeah.
so that's
I should say Jacob, as a wrestling fan, needs to. I demand him to name one match that guy's been in, and then he can choose this.
No, I want this wrestling match to be a masculine match. Hold on. Can you pronounce his name? Spell it? And hold on. What's his name? Lenny what?
Yeah, he didn't know how to pronounce his name for a second.
the round's over.
What? No, I need to write it down for the notes. What's his name? Lenny what?
No, he's writing it down.
Lenny. Just put Lenny.
No, give him
Do
his
you want his-
Montana.
do you
I think
want-
he said.
Do you want his wrestler name? It was the Zebra Kid.
Montana?
That's what the list says.
I know that's what the list says, you shithead. don't get me wrong. Don't act like I didn't write it down. Tato, on a scale of 1 to 10, if we had 100 draft picks, would you have drafted Lenny Montana? And what are your thoughts on how this draft has gone so far?
Likely not. And hey, it had to end somewhere.
There you go. JPO, can you name me 5 Lenny Montana wrestling matches?
Oh no, I've looked this up. You can't even really name 2 because I mean, there's really not a lot of like super like there's proof, but there's not enough like footage or anything. It's just he wrestled and then he was in one of the greatest movies of all time, so he's always making these lists. But no one can name a match.
No, but I mean
Fair
that
enough.
wasn't one of the criteria.
That's fine. That's
we
fine.
put
You're
out. We put
strategic.
wrestlers in
He chose one of
movies.
the greatest movies
No,
of all time.
we're
I get
down
it.
to roast JPO. We're down to roast you. No one is abstained from being roasted for.
No, you
whatever
can
reason.
roast me, but you can't deny that.
Ant-Man missed the Dark Knight question earlier. You know, it is what it is. Ant-Man, what are your thoughts on how this?
Live on this channel.
All
Yeah,
right,
this
so
wor-
let's start with. No, I'm just kidding.
This is where it starts to get a little bit weird. I mean, I don't know.
weird.
Yeah, it's gonna get weird. I don't know where the hell the rest of this draft's gonna go. So, but otherwise, yeah. I don't know.
All right, speaking of weird,
Y'all suck. I want to do. Hey, let's do 10 of these. Come on, I got picks.
I got picks too, but also like I want to go with my gut. I don't want to go with fucking Google. Jacob Barber, Google.
No,
These
it
are all from
wasn't-
my gut.
I was only Googling because I needed to remember his name. I wanted to pick the performance. I knew the character. I didn't know the actor.
But even when you
Maybe you
first
got
found out, it was
remembered.
via a list. The first time you found, oh, that dude's a wrestler.
All right, Jacob Barber, round 4. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with another one that maybe it's a round 5 pick, but I'm gonna pick it now. I'm gonna go with Ernest the Cat Miller in The Wrestler.
I thought about it. Good one.
Which one's he? Just so I know the. I know
He's
the
characters
main-
within
The
movie,
last
but
fight and Ring of
The
Honor.
last fight,
The Ayatollah, whatever. That guy.
Ayatollah,
He,
yeah.
he was a real wrestler. I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, WCW for several years.
Bob was a
Very
real
very
wrestler?
short WWE run as well.
What's his name? Just so I can write down for the notes?
Ernest Miller.
Ernest Miller. Wow.
At least that's his wrestling name. Actually, not sure if that's his real name. But that was his WCW WWE name.
Is it gonna be fucked up in the poll if I just write the Ayatollah, the wrestler?
No, Ernest Miller as the Ayatollah. People might know who you're talking about.
All right, Tato, back over to you.
Let's see. I'm not muted. That's a delight.
Unfortunately,
I mean,
Yeah, sometimes it's the way she goes. I will take. I'll take Jesse Ventura in The Running Man.
okay.
What's your favorite part about that character, Tato?
He's like all Captain America and shit. Dope.
Okay. Sure, buddy. Sure.
Talk about let's just whatever the poll. All right, JPO.
Alrighty. Well, hey, we talked about it before. No one's brought him up yet, but we got to go with former WCW World Champion David Arquette from Scream, baby.
It was. I have 2 options. Okay, good shit.
Lovable character. Lasted
Hold
for
on, for the
years.
people at home who didn't do the behind the scenes, is he actually a wrestler? Give us a little backdrop, and why is that eligible? Just for the people at home.
Well, so first, when they were promoting Ready to Rumble, they did have him win the WCW World Title. Very controversial. Some fans say that was part of the downfall of WCW. But years later, because he did do it as a wrestling fan, like he is a legit wrestling fan, he legitimately like got fully trained. He toured. He has over like 30, 40 matches, something like that. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like he made the towns, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, he kind of has to be credited as an actual active wrestler.
That's fair enough. All right. So obviously, in terms of just the best pick, that would have been my next one. But I'm actually really happy with this one because a lot of people overshadow it because it's animated. I'm going with The Rock, Moana. This is a performance that not only does he showcase of who he is as that fucking animated guy, but he also he sings "You're Welcome," dude. Good job.
that animated guy.
Yeah. I don't want to Google fucking bullshit.
Maui.
Maui. I Googled it. I IMDb'd it. But Maui, it's one of those things where he actually, when all jokes aside, when you think of like his performances, that's like honestly one of the first ones you think of. It's not even like memes. Like it's like he is a standout in Moana as a character, as a performance, as just a presence. And it shows like he can be a superstar. So obviously you have to have a Rock representative of this list. Let's just be honest. I would be really shocked if not all of us had at least one Rock representative. And I'm really happy that I have Moana on my list. So
Could have had Plan 51, but fine.
Probably not. Ant-Man, how are you rounding off round 4?
Man, I'm really kind of bummed about losing a Big Show, but because I was hoping to still keep it going with the tall ass mofo's. But I'm gonna go with the actual really low key good performance acting wise from Batista in Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
Just that first scene, man. It's that's what got me hooked. I love the first Blade Runner, and then the second one I was curious how it was gonna go, and then that first scene with him and Gosling, I was just like, damn, wow, I'm hooked. And I think to this day, I mean, because yeah, Batista hasn't had that much stuff to do. I haven't seen Knives Out too, so I mean, I don't know if this has changed, but I think that's still like his best acting, even it's a short scene.
It's an interesting conversation. I will
right. So yeah. So I mean, I haven't seen most of his other stuff recently. So yeah, I still think that's his like best low key like acting performance.
There you go. And obviously, you can say you confidently picked Batista as your number 4, and it's not going to affect the poll. But would you have gone Rock Moana, Arquette Scream, Ventura Running Man? Probably not. Or Ernest Miller from The Wrestler?
I thought about Moana, but no, I'm still happy with Black Adam. And then I forgot what the other one was. I was thinking Running Man. Because I was like, damn, because Predator was taken. I was like, but you still can't leave Ventura out. But otherwise, I'm happy with my pick. So
Okay. I respect that. JPO, obviously, it's one of those things that maybe Arquette could have gone under the table. Do you think beforehand you went rundown Rock? Is Moana something you was on the table for the Rock pick, and is Batista instead of Glass Onion maybe Blade Runner 2049 something that you maybe have considered?
Considered, absolutely. Yeah, no, he for what that is to me a small part but very memorable part. And again, as far as acting wise, like, yeah, no, he owns it. I mean, I think that's what helped him get in the part in Dune and whatnot, because the director appreciated what he brought to the table in Blade Runner. So it's a good one here. I definitely. It's really hard to say. Like, he's a different character in Glass Onion, so which shows just the different levels that he can bring to the table here.
Absolutely.
Layers, baby. I didn't even mean to do that onion joke.
Facts. Tato,
Um,
realistically speaking, do you genuinely think you could have gotten Jesse Ventura in the 5th round? And after hearing Arquette and Scream, Rock and Moana, and Batista and Blade Runner 2049 before over Volume 2, is that something that you maybe could have considered?
Nope, not so much. I wanted Drax, and I was content to get him in either volume. So I just went with the one that I genuinely think is better there. My line on taking Jesse Ventura here is that I was always going to take my Rock movie last, because I don't give a shit if I get The Rock's 5th best movie.
I respect that.
So that was the line of thought there. JPO, you have the rundown?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had Walking Tall for some reason.
No. But that's a possibility for you.
Well, that does put a bit of a thorn in my side, because I did want Moana, and now I got to figure out what Rock movie
You
I'm
have
picking.
DC
But I got
Legacy
4
for
picks to do it, so.
This is true. All right, and last but not least, Jacob Barber, what are your thoughts on just how this has gone so far?
I still think it's going really well. I think these are all pretty strong. I haven't seen The Running Man, so I can't speak on that performance. But I think
All right, I'll
the
show
other
you.
three were- Oh, okay. I guarantee Jesse Ventura did it better, but no, the other three are really good. I was wondering when David Arquette was going to be taken, and I think that's the obvious pick.
Ironically, that we set the precedent immediately that it took until round 4 was weird.
Right. But yeah, no, I think overall it's been a strong draft for all of us, and I'm curious to see how it ends.
All right, and with that said, a reminder of how this has gone so far. Ant-Man, your final pick. Before that, you have Andre the Giant with The Princess Bride, Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3, The Rock in Black Adam, and Batista in Blade Runner 2049. What is your final pick for wrestlers' performances within film?
performances, I feel like he's actually low key the best henchman in this franchise, and also as a wrestler, he's a freaking goat. I think he's actually top 3 favorite wrestlers of my preference. I'm gonna go with Stone Cold Steve Austin in The Expendables. You know, as for the as a movie, with a bunch of action stars, I was like, damn, Stone Cold as a henchman. You know, he's obviously not the main villain, but as a henchman, damn, he's fucking kicking Sly's ass, and I loved every minute of it. So, yeah, and as a wrestler, I mean, come on, he's freaking definitely in the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, in my opinion.
That's fair enough. All right, so for my final pick, I'm going to go with one where you could knock me because he doesn't say hardly anything, but his presence is well known. I'm going with Kurt Angle in Warrior.
I knew it.
This is a performance that people just forget. Like, holy fuck, that is Kurt Angle because of how good he is in that movie. It's one of those things where it's like, how do you, like, Ridley, how do you criticize that performance? You know what I mean? It's just so good. and both physically, but also just like, just the presence and just the tone of what he says. So, people can knock of like, oh, he doesn't really say much, et cetera, et cetera. But like, especially in the 5th round, if your only knock is the fact that he doesn't say much, I am fine with that. So I am really happy with Kurt Angle and Warrior.
He's actually on my TV right now, about to have a cage match with Jeff Jarrett.
Screen share. JPO, what's your final pick?
I'm gonna go with a wrestler playing himself, and based on real life events. I'm gonna go Jerry the King Lawler in Man on the Moon, with Jim Carrey. Yeah, it's a fascinating tale based on the true story of the infamous slap that happened on Letterman. They even redo the scene with Letterman in the movie here, and you find out like the backstory of how like they were actually kind of buddies, and then you can even throw in some fun background of Jim Carrey actually torturing him on set. But the movie otherwise is really good.
I heard it's not as good as Truman Show or Eternal Sunshine, but yeah, good dramatic performance.
Can't argue that.
What is your final pick?
Hey, come on, give me a sec here. I'm thinking.
Hold on, I'm on Google. 1 second.
I'm not on Google. I'm on
I didn't go Batista.
CBR.com.
I'll give you a little break. I didn't just because I didn't mention mine. I went Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Spider-Man, Jess Ventura and Predator, Big Show and The Waterboy, The Rock in Moana, and Kurt Angle and Warrior. And JPO went John Cena and Trainwreck, round 1. The Rock and Rundown, Batista and Glass Onion, round 3. David Arquette in Scream, and Jerry Lawler at all in Man on the Moon. Tato.
Alrighty. I'm gonna take a different angle here. With my
Kurt?
yeah.
Dog?
I'm gonna go with Dwayne Johnson in Central Intelligence.
It's not a bad pick.
Really, yeah, dude,
I would have.
yeah. No, he shows his comedy chops. He's fucking hilarious as fuck in that flick, and
That movie's
it might have
fucking
been,
awesome.
yeah.
It's a gutsy, like fun comedic performance. Yeah.
Mad underrated.
And he's still as badass as always. So.
He can rock a fanny pack, and he won't fuck with him.
And I'm big into
Probably
corns.
the best Bob.
That's Bob.
I respect that. I only went Moana probably for the poll, but yes, probably my heart. So good pick. Jacob Barber, you have all the wrestlers, all the movies, excluding the ones that have been picked. How are you ending tonight's draft for wrestlers' performances in movies?
Yeah, I don't have.
Recap. You have Roddy Piper and They Live. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt it. Roddy Piper and They Live. Dave Bautista in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Lenny Montana in The Godfather, which that's He Swims with the Fishes. And Ernest Miller in The Wrestler, which is the Ayatollah. Kind of racist. What's your final pick?
Yeah, I don't
Also
have. I don't have a Rock movie yet, so I'm gonna go with George Steele from Ed Wood.
Oh, you're throwing us off with that?
Not picking a Rock movie. No, I'm gonna go
Holy
with George
shit.
Steele and Ed Wood.
Jacob Barber picked a Tim Burton movie. Never would have guessed.
I feel like, as a Tim Burton fan, I feel like it's my obligation to, if I can, I should.
You're like,
And
if I'm going to lose the
it's all
poll anyway, I
performance, I
might as well
think.
go with my heart.
Yeah, it's the 5th round. I mean, it's a lot better than Glass Onion in the 3rd.
Facts. Battleground.
Yeah,
Go.
by the way, raise your hand if you've seen Glass Onion.
I have seen it.
Oh, you have seen? Okay, so
Yeah, it is really good. Like it's not a bad pick, but also round 3, it's wild. But with that said, let the audience know who the fuck is George Steele and who is this character in Ed Wood.
he plays Tor Johnson in Ed Wood. It discovers him in a wrestling ring of all places. So it's a solid performance in what I think is Tim Burton's best movie. It's not my favorite of his, but I think there's an argument to be made that it could be his best made movie. So yeah, I mean, Ed Wood is
And wrestling wise, he was pretty big in the 80s. He's known for having a very hairy chest, and he would eat the top turnbuckle and have a green tongue. That is George the Animal Steele.
Jesus.
All right. So with that said, shout out to Barber Google fucking with his last 3 picks. Not bad. With that said,
No,
here's a
I
recap.
believe
Really
he
think
knew that.
You really think I had to
Godfather's
Google
Google,
the
but I
Tim
knew he
Burton
knew the
movie?
steal. Yeah.
Everyone's pick. So just to recap, Ant-Man, who decided to go first, he went Andre the Giant, The Princess Bride. Hulk Hogan from Rocky 3, pissed. The Rock, Black Adam, interesting. Batista, Blade Runner 2049. Different.
JV.
And then Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Expendables. Henry Confidential, some shithead. He went Macho Man, Randy Savage, Spider-Man, Bonesaw, first overall. Jesse Ventura in Predator. Big Show as Captain Insano in The Wada Boy. The Rock as Moana, or as Maui in Moana.
He said, as Moana?
Whatever.
That'd be a much
And Kurt
different
Angle
movie.
as the
Cobra.
in Warrior. And then we go JPO. Tato, he went Dave Bautista. JPO, he went John Cena in Trainwreck. His first overall pick. Holy cow, dude. By the way, he skipped Suicide Squad for that. The Suicide Squad. Interesting.
Right.
Then he
The
went
poll
to
doesn't
Rock
have to know
Rundown.
that, though. The poll doesn't have to know that.
No,
They will when the
do
picks are in
know
order.
They saw that. That is your number one, my guy. The Rock in the rundown that did piss me. That is actually your only good pick. Batista and Glass
Yeah,
Onion.
okay. Well, at
David
least I had
Arquette
one
as
unlike
a
you.
wrestler, lower, but as a movie, Scream. So whatever. And then Jerry Lawler, Man on the Moon. Respect. I'll give you.
That's actually a great 5 pick.
He had to go
for
Hall of
respect.
Famer. Yeah. Respect.
Tato, Dave Bautista. Before Volume 1 was selected, he went Guardians Volume 2. Interesting. We'll let the people decide in the comments. He did tell JPO to suck his ass with John Cena with the Suicide Squad. He went Kevin Nash the longest yard because he likes steroids. Jesse Ventura, he couldn't get Predator, so he went The Running Man. And then he likes bitch tits in The Rock in Central Intelligence. And then last but not least, we have Jacob Barber with They Live, Roddy Piper. Hands down, good, fantastic round 1 pick. He did say, Tato, you fucked up, AA Ron. Dave Bautista, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. And then he said, hey, Siri, pick my next 3 picks. He went, Siri is like, hey, what do you want me to say? He went Lenny Montana for The Godfather.
I only had to Google the name. I knew the character and the movie.
Sleeps with the Fishes. Then he went Ernest Miller, Bob, the Ayatollah from The Wrestler. In case you guys don't know, he is a pretty good car salesman. He's got a good gig going on. And George Steele, apparently a decent wrestler with fantastic chest hair in the 80s. George Steele, Ed Wood. So with that said, comment below your guys' favorite wrestler performance of all time. If you want to say The Rock, which is a cliche pick, outside of The Rock, just because that's a cliche pick, and I know that's just going to be annoying. So other than The Rock, what is your favorite wrestling performance of all time, regardless of their screen time? And what is the most underrated wrestling performance of all time? I feel like that is more interesting.
I got some honorable
then,
mentions.
Make sure you check out Henry Confidential Talks Movies on Facebook and actually vote on the poll, because this is a very interesting. I have no idea where this one's going to go, genuinely. Because even though I love my picks, they're not on paper the picks. So like I might get 0 votes, and that's fine. I get it. So I'm definitely curious on this. So shout out Antonio Chavez.
Honorable mentions.
Oh yeah, honorable mention. JPO as the wrestling connoisseur. Is there, what did we fuck up on? Who should we
Everybody.
fuck up
No, you know what? I would have been okay with someone that said Hulk Hogan with Mr. Nanny. That's fun.
on? All right, we're
Randy
my name is
Commando.
Henry Confidential.
No, let me keep going. Randy Orton in Changeland, a Seth Green movie. It's a great
All right,
performance.
I am.
No, no.
Hurry up.
Steve-
before
Okay, I only got a few. Steve Austin
Ah,
in Damage. That's a really good movie. Kevin Nash and Magic Mike. That's his biggest part where he gets the most to do.
No one said Teenage Mutant Ninja.
Because he doesn't. He's in a suit. That would have been a horrible pick.
I didn't even know that was him until recently. You guys told me that.
Exactly.
Famous for honesty, though, Jordan.
You know what I mean? It's
At least Sheamus gets to be a human for 5 seconds and a voice. The Miz in Marine 6 Close Quarters. It's actually a really good performance. Diamond Dallas Page in Devil's Rejects. Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, and Blade Trinity. And finally, you could have picked. Hey, you know what you could have picked, Henry? Debo, Tom Lister Jr. in Friday.
I did see a lot of lists, right? Like I saw that he was he popped up on a lot of lists,
Yeah,
but
little
like I've
Nick-
never seen him in wrestling, so I couldn't legitimately go with that. But
You
one
could
that
argue
I
against it. He
genuinely
had
want to
5
shout out
matches.
is Nathan Jones from Mad Max Fury Road. I like his
Yes, I
performance in
had that.
movie.
Fuck.
It's one of those ones where it's like
It's such a
I was
silent,
considering. So.
Yeah, he's a big badass. Like there's not anything he can't do though. You know.
I know, but he has enough to do in the movie that he's memorable, so it would be worthy of at least a top 5 of
Top
25.
10, 20.
With that said, Tato, any last thoughts or honorable mentions or things that don't take longer than 10 seconds?
Yeah, I like Stone Cold and Expendables. That was one I had on my board as well. And then I'm kind of surprised that that Hobbs did not get picked in any capacity.
That is definitely just for interesting facts. Yeah, no, The Rock and Fast and Furious.
Someone
Maybe
Black
some-
Adam. You know, some had interesting choices.
Barber, as someone who dips his toes in the wrestling sphere, any things you regret, any things that you wish you would shout it out, and overall, what are your thoughts?
No regrets. I like my 5. I like how you gave me crap about Google when we all did the same thing before we went live anyway. But
Yours
no,
is just more obvious.
The one I was debating with going with 5 was Hulk Hogan in Gremlins 2, but because I think it's memorable, but it's just a fun cameo more than anything.
Would you
So,
say
no,
Three Ninjas, High Mountain?
Oh Jesus! Worst movie of that year.
Best Hulk Hogan movie of the 80s? What did you say?
The
Okay,
90s
Bard.
Exactly. No one remembers that. Antonio, final thoughts.
Actually came away pretty happy with my draft. If I had to,
As someone who didn't have faith in this concept, how did now in retrospect, solid event?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a solid concept. It's just obviously it's for anyone who's not a connoisseur like JPO. I'm just obviously you're a little bit disadvantaged because he named 3 movies not just now that I've never heard of, and I'm I don't know, and I didn't know I didn't know the Miz actually fucking acted. So okay,
He
But,
made
otherwise,
6.
I'm not-
No, he's in 4 of the Marines. My bad.
okay.
It's
So
the Miz is good in those movies. He is.
right. So either way, I'm just happy with my picks. If I had any honorable mentions, I'm surprised Goldberg didn't get picked. I was gonna go with him either Ready to Rumble or Longest Yard. I was thinking.
I've been wanting to see that Hammer for years. I'm just curious. What's he rocking?
Honestly, if you picked Goldberg, Santa Slay probably would have been the pick.
I thought about that too, but that would have been still third. And then Nathan Jones and Mad Max. Oh, Ronda Rousey and was it Furious 7?
Yeah.
I was thinking I don't know. I thought that was a little bit of a good fight. And then
She's not a good
what was
actress.
that?
She's bad
Yeah.
at acting.
It's more about the fighting. But anyway.
She's also not a good
And
wrestler.
then Kurt Angle. I was like, shit. I didn't think anyone would think about Warrior, but then I was like, oh wait, Henry's here, of course. So yeah. Either way, I'm happy with my 5 picks. So
There you go. All right. So with that said, we're just enjoying our weekend. So if you guys randomly Googled or YouTubed wrestlers in movies, wrestlers, drafts, whatever, and you guys have not checked out the rest of the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, or at least check out the rest of the videos and decide if you want to subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of fun here with drafts, brackets, random movie trivia things. Make sure you check out the Pierce Co. channel. JPO does ASATs, which is just 20 random questions, kind of just brings a panel together, asks some movie trivia questions, and see what happens. Does picks and lists, picks and lists. Make sure you check out Jacob Barber. He does some wrestling things with JPO. He does a podcast about movies with Austin Patal, and he kind of just randomly pops up on 4 hours and 45-minute shows. Make sure you check out Tato. If he doesn't have that mustache, you can invite him around your kids. If not, don't. Ant-Man, he doesn't have anything in terms of him being as the head, but he's great at pretty much everything other than answering Dark Knight questions. So with that said, my name is Henry Confidential. This was a draft regarding wrestlers within movies, specifically from the performances. Bing bong, fuck your life.